What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rusty Nuts Media. Today, working on Project Gooch. I'm always changing my mind. I changed my mind again. So, we know we have a blown head gasket. We know we've got a leaking problem between the cylinders, maybe possibly between cylinders 1 and 2, and I know we've got coolant blowing out, so I think we're blowing pressure into the coolant system. We had a rusty spark plug, so it looks like some coolant's getting in the cylinder too. So I've started the teardown on the car. Looking at it right now, that's where I've got it to right now. The plan was I was gonna go ahead and pull the motor now, just because over winter I wanted to do a few things in the bottom end, replace a couple parts down there, oil pump, the tone wheel on the crankshaft, a couple other things in the bottom end. But I don't have those things yet. Some of them aren't released yet. I'm waiting on them to be finalized and finished before they get here. So what I wanted to go ahead and do is take the head off the car, check between the cylinders, check and make sure there's no cracks and anything like that, and make sure it's just the gasket. And I was actually gonna go ahead and order just the gasket and the studs, just to make sure everything in there's good, and just get the car back together. I wanted to do some testing on a couple different parts while I've got the car like it is, and then once the parts get here for the bottom end, then go ahead and pull the motor out and do all that other stuff. But I mean, I don't want the car sitting here for a couple of months at a time and I'm waiting on parts, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw in another gasket on this thing and get this car running again so I can at least drive it around every now and then. So I'm gonna be working on the car today. I'm gonna try and get the head off, which means intake manifold, fuel system, turbo, exhaust, all that stuff comes off, any electrical components up here. Take as much stuff off as I can, which is really easy because there's nothing in this engine bay. Get everything ready to come off. It's been a while since I've pulled the head, actually. I think it's been, I don't know if I've had the head off all year, actually. So this might be the first time. I might be a little rusty, but I'll get the hang of it. So I'm gonna start pulling other stuff off of this. I'll update you as I go, and I'll check in just a minute. All right, it's been about 30 minutes. I'm pretty dirty now. I've got a lot done. It's pretty simple stuff. It's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot in the way, like I said before. Intake manifold's off, all the wiring's unhooked, the turbo's off, the manifold's off the back, all that stuff. Over here, all the accessories are off. I've got the oil pan pulled off of it. I'm getting the timing cover off now so I can undo the timing chain. On this side, I've got the thermostat housing, all that off. So everything is off of it except the valve cover and the timing cover. Then I'll take the chain off and then take the cams out, and then I'll be able to take the head bolts out. And once those are out, of course, I can pull the head off. So it's getting there. But so here's what I'm thinking about doing. Pull this head off, make sure everything's okay in there. You know, knock on wood that it's just a head gasket. I'm gonna see which studs I have in here. I have head studs on the car now. I'm not sure if they're the stage 2, stage 3, whatever they are. I'm gonna look as soon as I get it apart, and then if there's a better stud available, that's what I'm gonna get to put in there. But if these are the best ones out there right now, I'm gonna keep those in there and just do the gasket. So I'm gonna throw a gasket on this thing and then put it all back together. And that's really the only issue with the car, is that. So like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and replace the gasket, and if there are better studs available, when I order the gasket, I'll go ahead and upgrade the studs too, but I think these might be the best studs out there for this car. I'm gonna do some research before I throw it all back together and make sure I've got the best gasket and studs on this thing, because I don't want it to blow again. It's probably going to at some point, but you know, what can you do? That's one thing about a very high boost 4-cylinder. They're gonna pop some head gaskets every now and then. That's true for any car though. So I'm gonna get this car running again. And like I said, there's a couple parts out there that I wanted to test on the car over winter since the track's not open right now. I can't really go for the fastest times out there, but I can throw some other parts on this car because everything's so easy to work on with nothing. I'm literally standing in the engine bay. It's really easy to work on. It's really simple. So there's some parts that I wanted to test out for a couple companies. They're gonna send me some parts. I'm gonna throw them on, see what the difference is, test drive the car, do a couple of videos on different parts like that. So that's gonna be coming out in the near future, but for now, I'm gonna continue working on this. I'm gonna get the valve cover off first. That's gonna be the next thing. I've already got all the timing cover bolts loose. So I'm gonna take this off, take that off, and then we'll take the timing chain off. And once we're at that point, I'll get back with you and catch you up to where I'm at before I take the head bolts out. And there we go. All right, so where I'm at now, got the valve cover off, timing cover off. Everything looks great, by the way. You know, I said we had a few overheating issues. It never got totally overheated. It would just get really, really hot and I'd shut it off. It looks really good in here. The cams are still basically new. They've only got, you know, just a few miles on them. Timing chain and guides, everything looks really good. There's basically zero play in this chain. It's super tight. Same with the oil pump chain on the bottom. Everything looks in really good shape. So I called my brother a little bit ago, Cody. He's on his way over here. He just got off work. So when he gets here, I'll finish pulling all this stuff apart. What I'll probably do is go ahead and get the chain and the cams out. I'll get the chain off and the cams out. That way when he gets here, all we have to do is get the head bolts off and pull the head, and that's it. So I just want an extra set of hands around just in case I get in a bind and I need a hand. So I'm gonna wait to pull the head off until he gets here, and we'll hit that together. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the chain off and the cams out, and I'll catch you up in a minute. All right, guys, Cody got here. It's getting a little cool now, so I put on my jacket. Cody got here. He's helping me take the stud nuts off from inside the head. He's getting those off right now. We went ahead and broke them all loose. Show him that socket. So, hold on, let me walk over here. There's a real tight spot on the Caliber heads. It's right here, right in here. You can't fit a normal socket down in there, or at least I didn't have a socket that would go down in there. So we actually had to grind down one of these 9/16 socket just like that around the edges just to get it to wedge down in there on that. And I've read on the forums back in the days and a couple Facebook pages, a couple guys have done that. And you can get a shallower socket, one that's a little smaller, and people have a little better luck, but we just modified that socket and it's working fine. So we're gonna go ahead and get the rest of these nuts off these studs, and then we'll pull the head in just a minute. All right, so we got the head off. We found where the gasket had blown. We can see it on the block. We can see it on the gasket. So we know it was a blown head gasket. There's no cracks in the block, no cracks in the head. Everything checks out. So I went ahead and put in a call to Aaron real quick while it was still kind of early. It's getting really cold, so we're about to close up shop here. We just wanted to get the head off, assess the damage, and see what we needed to order. So Aaron's gonna send us out a new gasket, and he's gonna look at the studs and see if there's any upgrades out there right now, see what he's got on the shelves. And I think these studs are gonna be okay, but he's gonna send us a gasket. So once it gets here, we'll do another video throwing it on, get this car back together, crank it, and have some fun in it. So that's gonna be it for this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.